Wow. World Boxing Super Series Cruiserweight Semifinals. Dorticos knocks out Mayweather Promotions fighter Andrew Tabiti, who was undefeated. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. I want to give some post-fight thoughts real quick before I watch the main event. I just watched the Dorticos versus Tabiti fight, and I want to give you my thoughts. Smash the like button if you're new. Consider subscribing. And I'm going to kind of go over some of I was doing the round by round tweets. Tabiti keeps slipping in the ring. I said they need to clean up the spill. I don't know. There's some water or something on the ground. It looked like the World Boxing Super Series. They had like this little placard. I don't know if that's what he tripped on, but I noticed that. That's just something. Dorticos, this was in round one. I tweeted this. Dorticos, pretty aggressive. I didn't expect him to be this aggressive this soon. Definitely experienced in the Cuban school. Now, the Cuban school is definitely vicious because, I don't want to stereotype. Not all the Cubans fight the same way, but you still see, no matter which Cuban is coming from the Cuban school, you still see the fundamentals of grasp. Like they can fight like Gamboa, they can fight like Dorticos, who don't fight like Edison de Lara or Rigondeaux, but you can see they all have a grasp of, just the pure basics. So shout out to the Cuban school. Early on, Tabiti froze Dorticos with some good combinations. Tabiti seems to be breathing a bit heavy. I think a bit of jitters considering the event, location, and implications of this fight. That's one thing I noticed. It looked like the moment was real big for Tabiti, and he looked a bit, kind of rattled, a little bit nervous, like he looked a little bit unsettled to me, like at the beginning of the fight. And this was important for Dorticos because, one, he's coming from the Cuban school. He looked calm. He looked, like I said, he was pressuring from the onset of this fight. And the thing is, Tabiti was undefeated up until this fight. Dorticos lost last year against Murat Gassiev and got stopped in, I think, the final round late in the fight. And he had to bounce back. So this was important if Tabiti hadn't had a fight like this big and didn't have that experience, because Dorticos is, one, coming from the Cuban school, but also he's been here before in terms of a big World Boxing Super Series semifinal type of situation. So that's what I noticed. I don't think either fighter had a perfect fight, but obviously Dorticos won, crushing knockout, one punch. So I can't, I don't have too many critiques on what he could have done different, because it doesn't really matter. He won. But Dorticos needs to jab a lot more to set up his combinations instead of walking forward straight through the front door. I think Dorticos would have been better off. There's times where it looked like he had a good jab, but he wasn't using it. He was just kind of walking through the front door. And Tabiti has speed. And the biggest thing with Tabiti I noticed is like the unsettled nerves, it looked like. And he was fighting in spurts. He was letting off combinations and letting some combinations rip, but he was really, really selective in picking his spots. And this is another thing for Dorticos. I said Dorticos needs to stop pouring in after his shot, smothering his own work. He has longer arms. He needs to create, have the right spacing to get the right trajectory on his shots. I noticed he would launch a right hand, and then he would pour in and kind of smother his own work, where it looked like he had long arms. He was the taller fighter, and he couldn't do the tight, complete work because he was too close. I said Dorticos' trunks were bothering me. They were all twisted and shit at the waistband, but I was just somewhat joking. Tabiti, I think first of all, DAZN and World Boxing Super Series, you see what I put. I said their commentary is trash. This was a really kind of it was a really dysfunctional type of fight to me. I think that's a pretty good word. Dysfunctional. There was a lot going on. Tabiti slipped. Dorticos' shorts was all twisted up. Dorticos was pulling in and then using forearms And then Tabiti was like, there's some clinching. Didn't like the referee. He took a point in one of the mid rounds from Tabiti, and that could have been one of the beginnings of the end, where Tabiti lost a point in a close fight. You don't want to see that. I don't think the ref should have, and that's why I said this fight is getting weird. I don't know. It was just a real, you guys see my tweets when I'm putting up. It's getting chippy in there, LOL, real chippy. Like, it's just a real cagey, chippy fight. Dorticos, like I said, his work wasn't all the way clean. He was real rough, but he was just right there with the pressure, The ref was really weird. I feel like the ref, you should not even feel like the ref is there. And I felt like I knew the ref was there because of his influence on the fight. You know what I'm saying? And Dorticos got a cut over his eye. It didn't really bother him throughout the fight. Just kind of a weird fight. It was kind of weird, but it punctuated in a one-punch knockout, which was definitely devastating. I think Andrew Tabiti, one of the things he could have done is when Dorticos had that bad cut on his eye, he should have took advantage of that. He should have probably got more aggressive at that spot, because as the fight wore on, it looked like, with everything, the roughhousing, Dorticos being a little bit taller and bigger, the event being the biggest at Tabiti, tournament style, because Tabiti wasn't in the first tournament, these types of things. So stamina probably wasn't going to be in his best interest. Plus you're training in a foreign, or not training, you're in Riga. So, everything's just new. I don't know what Tabiti's amateur pedigree is like, but Dorticos had already been to this type of scenario. So I think he should have got more aggressive when that cut opened up and, land some of the shots, because you see you see Tabiti and Floyd Sr., and they're doing all the mid work and the drills and stuff. And Tabiti's crazy speed, hand speed and good accuracy. So he should have probably packed on some of the punishment in mid rounds, especially if stamina was, going to be an issue. And I said, wow, these commentators talk about who is going to win the finals most likely, and it's only round 8 of 12. Get these dudes the fuck off with this bias ass commentary. They're making it seem like Tabiti is getting wrecked, which isn't the case, even if you have him winning or losing, right? The commentary was just horrible. It was horrific. They were like so pro Dorticos, even in the spots where it was competitive, or he wasn't even like, I think Tabiti did some good things defensively, and he was a moving target, and he created space. He was using lateral movement, and then even in the pocket, he was moving a bit. And I think that's also what added to him becoming tired, especially after he got a point deducted. You have to be weary about clinching now because you got a point deducted for holding. So I don't think they had a real game plan beyond the clinching to stop the pressure of Dorticos, who was like relentless, like on some Terminator shit. And he just kept coming and kept coming. And then that was a bad sign when the ref took a point, because now you have to, like, it'd be one thing, a hard warning, but the ref took a point. So now you have to be cautious. You don't want to get disqualified or something, or get another point deducted. So you'd be in like a Amir Khan, Lamont Peterson situation where you lose 2 points in a close fight. So I think Tabiti, with the inability to probably clinch in some of those spots and pick his spots and work at a more comfortable pace for him, that's where the fight started to switch. But the commentary was horrible. I don't like predictive commentary. Like, this ain't autocorrect, and they're trying to persuade the viewer to see some shit that hadn't happened yet. Like, yes, it ended in a knockout, but they were saying like, oh yeah, Tabiti, he might not be able to win. It looks like Dorticos is going to advance to the finals. But at that point in the fight, in round 8, there was really no indication that, that was to be the case. It was a real chippy fight. Tabiti was doing some good work, pick his spot, pop, 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 and then he would stop. There was still some roughhousing and, a couple low blows. It's just a real chippy fight. But crazy. I posted this. I said, this is in the 10th round now. I said, Tabiti looks a bit tired. He needs to get his second win. Dorticos would be wise to attack the body. You see, at 157, I posted this. I said it looks like he was getting tired because I noticed Tabiti, he took a deep gulp, like, and he was breathing heavy. And I seen him look at the clock. So I'm like, ooh, that's not good, you know, because all these things considered, it's the 10th round. This is a championship round. Dorticos has been here before. And, you know, he had this relentless pressure. His name is the KO doctor. Look at the time, 157. Immediately after I posted that Tabiti looks tired, he got knocked out. Look, 158. It was really like 30 seconds later. And I was like, told you, wow. And then that was the end. Tabiti got knocked out. I said Dorticos knocked out Tabiti with a single punch. Wow. Great victory for Dorticos. And I attribute it to the relentless pressure and a good game plan experience of Dorticos. I think he wouldn't stop. Even though some of his work wasn't the cleanest or landing clean, he was a constant. He just kept staying on top of Tabiti. And if you watch the fight, Tabiti started getting tired. He was clinching, and then he looked at the clock. He was breathing heavy. You know, he couldn't nullify and slow that pace towards the stretch. And when you get tired, your body's fatiguing, you know, so you naturally are more inclined to make mistakes because you're physically tired, right? And if you look at Tabiti, he had his left hand really low, you know, his left hand wasn't up tight. So Dorticos, Tabiti went to throw a punch, and Dorticos, being an experienced guy and a accurate Cuban, not accurate, but just coming from the Cuban school, he was able to time it. And he timed him with the perfect shot on the button, hit him with a right. The punch got there quicker than Tabiti's, and then, you know, Tabiti went limp. The rest is history. You know, he was knocked out, and Tabiti was out bad. It looked like, you know, it was pretty serious. And then I just said Dorticos' power is legit. So huge win for Dorticos. Didn't like the commentary, didn't like the refereeing. Dorticos did his thing. Tabiti had spots, but he was kind of in spurts. And, you know, the commentary was horrible. They were just making it like Dorticos was just out there like on some Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia stuff, but it wasn't even that type of fight. I think Tabiti, you know, hopefully he'll learn from this. He did some solid work. He was landing some shots. It looked like round 6 or so, it looked like he got Dorticos' attention, and there's a couple points like that, but you had to I think Tabiti should have found, him and his team had to get some kind of way to get even more respect. You know, I'm not going to play the end because for copyright reasons, but the link's in the description in case you want to see it. KO Doctor, he advances. So, you know, it was these knockouts this year have been brutal, man. It's a brutal knockout. Like I said, he was on the ground for a minute. His team was like huddled over him, and he looked kind of woozy. Just a big moment. The fatigue set in, and Dorticos, with the power and the nonstop, constant pressure, I think it took its toll, obviously. And then he connected with the shorter shot on the button. It was a wrap. Yeah, it was solid. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. You know, Dorticos is for real. He's going to the end. He predicted this. He said he'd be in the finals this year. So let me know what you guys think. Congrats to Team Dorticos. We working.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.